500 likes, I'm still getting 800 flashbacks. I know how scary schools were to us back in the day. Exams, homeworks, bullies, and teachers beg you to come alone to their special room after class. I don't know about you, but that last one did happen to me once. Once when I was sleeping. But why are we talking about schools in the top scary video list? Because that's what society needs, to be free of taxes. The next investigation takes place in an abandoned school, where people have abandoned the school. How truly terrifying. But why did they do it though? And how am I supposed to know? I didn't study or live there. They thought it was time to leave the building for these YouTubers to create videos about. And here comes Luna. But according to some people, there is a ghost of a girl walking around the hallways, causing panic among teenagers who make out with their girlfriends in this school. 'Cause who else would spread out these rumors? Luna went to check out the jail section as part of a tour to show us where these students used to spend their time when the teachers decides to send them to the special place. Didn't I tell you that this isn't a school? Why would you have a cell in such a place? Luna started hearing some voices. Voices of what? Maybe some construction workers were screaming at each other. I slept with your mom last week, so work harder. But the best part is when he responded to him. I mean, when a shadow was seen passing by in the reflection.
De los pasillos anda la energía de esa pequeñita. Vamos a seguir avanzando. No hay nadie, escuchen el silencio, no hay absolutamente nadie. De hecho, yo estoy intentando grabar antes de que cierren el lugar, porque no tardan en cerrar las puertas de este sitio y ya nadie puede entrar. Ok, vamos a ingresar a este lugar. Miren, aquí parecen ser unas celdas que utilizan para simular que es una cárcel. Y aquí la energía se siente muy pesada. Muy pesada. ¡Ay! ¡Ay! Estoy escuchando, escuchen. Dios, ¿qué es eso? ¡Ay! ¡Ay! ¿Qué está pasando? Estoy escuchando ruidos, pero no sé. Y sigo escuchando aquí afuera. Ay, no. ¿Qué fue? Yo escuchaba como arañazos, como si alguien estuviera aquí. Ay, no. Como si alguien anduviera aquí conmigo. Quiero preguntarle a esa pequeñita, a ese ser que posiblemente no ha encontrado la luz, si se encuentra aquí, de lo que aquí se encuentra. Probablemente también haya más energías y no solo la de esa pequeñita de la que se habla. Yo quiero preguntar, y me estoy atreviendo a hacerlo estando sola en este lugar. ¡Ay! Dios mío, yo vi algo que corrió. Espero que lo hayan visto. Yo les voy... ¡Ay! Ahí está corriendo algo. Voy a mostrárselos. Se los voy a mostrar ya cuando haga la edición de este video, para ponerle un círculo y puedan apreciar lo que yo vi en mi cámara. Qué fuerte. No sé qué era, no sé si era la niña, no sé si era otra cosa, pero estoy segura que no era una persona porque no hay nadie aquí. Parecen ser papas, toda esta verdura que utilizan aquí para... ¡Ay! ¿Qué es eso? Ay. No. ¿Quién está aquí? Nos vamos a ir. Me voy a retirar y quiero que ustedes presten mucha atención a cualquier cosa que puedan observar mientras abandono este sitio. Esta es una investigación diferente, pero lo más importante, como siempre, es captar manifestaciones, es captar la evidencia paranormal.
I have never seen potatoes like the ones in the video before. I'm sure they are plastic, but they look more like peeled apples. And that's the most important part we have to talk about in this video. Let's now go to the one man whom I called Zach. It turned out his actual name was Zark, as if it wasn't obvious to me since it's his official channel name. Zark has moved on ever since the last time I featured him. Moved on from what? From his family, from his friends. He moved on from your curiosity. He moved on from the old house and its haunting, and now he is living in freedom in the jungle with the birds and bears. Zark decided to move out to a new house where he could stay away from all the hauntings. To me, that's sad in one part, that I have finally found someone with true horror in his content, true poltergeist activity. But on the other side, I can't say that I'm not happy for him that he moved out, cause you don't know how much worse this can get at that point. And before I start getting more emotional about this and express my deep feelings in a way that could break someone's heart, let's talk about the clips here. Zark gives us a sneak peek at the bedroom of the new house while explaining the situation his son was having back in that house. That he was drawing an imaginary picture of what he was witnessing. So Zark pulled up the paper close to the camera, and I almost covered my eyes due to the amount of details that was drawn on it, and it seems like his son was seeing someone staring at him from the window, like I did back in the day before I followed the right path. But the activity in his house escalated to the point where his son was shaking in his sleep very violently, like how an old Nokia phone would do when it's ringing on silent mode. But you know what was the scariest part? It's when Zark found out that he has another son, who can be heard but can be barely visible.
So this is our bedroom. It's a little bit bigger compared to the last one. This is where my son sleeps now, and me and my wife here. Hey guys. Alright, so I just wanted to share a post with you. If you remember, this was the drawing what my son had did earlier. So when I came home, my son just showed me this paper and said, "Daddy, look." And I was like, "What?" So he drew this pointing out to the window. I didn't understand it.
I don't see something.
But later, maybe after half an hour something, he drew this again. And here you can see it's a family of Peppa Pig. That's Daddy, I think that's Mommy, Daddy. These are Peppa and George, I guess. And this is the house. And if you see, my son was like trying to show on the window, and this is what he was trying to point out. See there? He drew another Peppa. So this made my son tell me that he was looking at Jay outside the window. There was one more clip which I had not shown you earlier. I will show it to you now. And this kind of connects everything, because we never understood why he was always showing us to the window. So that's one post.
Mommy, no.
Look up.
Oh, look at that.
What?
No.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, I'm looking. What?
Yeah. It's gone.
What is it gone?
I saw it.
What?
I saw it. You look there.
What?
Listen there.
Tell me what is it?
Listen there. Listen over here.
Yeah, I saw it. I was watching, but what? What did you see?
Hello.
What did you see?
I saw something.
You saw something?
No.
What is it? Scary?
I don't know. Just
I was just going back to some of the old videos, and I was just rewatching it. And one thing was really interesting, the video where I was attacked, like I was pushed back. In that video, if you see at I think 2 minutes and 12 seconds, thanks to Urvashi, she mentioned that you can see the shadow behind me. Like it was like the entity was trying to mimic my shadow, I guess. So you can just clearly see that my hand is not moving, but in the shadow hand, like it moves, it's kind of big. Just one thing, I just woke up suddenly and went. I couldn't even see it. My eyes were blurred. So what scared me is, like, if this thing can fool me, I was really scared. Like, if I'm not there at home, what would it do? What would the entity do with my wife and my kid? It can trick me so well. Most probably it can do anything to them as well. Good.
What? How is it not clearly burning?
Somewhere it's burning big.
Stop. Okay, it's stopped. Yo, oh yeah.
Look, this really got to the point where if I were his neighbor, I would also move out to a new apartment. I would never dare to live near a house like that. I mean, what the heck happened here? You say it was the curse of some old maid. How special was she to cause all of this? For the first time in a while, or maybe ever, we have a Russian investigator who isn't exploring a witch house. Then where is he? Who? Who is where? If you are asking about your father, maybe you should try the new AI chat system. They say it knows a lot. Let's go back to our Russian fella who, surprisingly, has a name. His name is Timothy. Timo said that some people spent a night or two in this house, and during this time, they witnessed the scariest events of their lives. They went to use the toilet, and there was no seat. It was a squat toilet. Now to me that would be the end of my trip in this place, but to them, it was just some shadows they saw. Now here comes Timo, who thinks with his simple tactics and simple equipment he can communicate with the ghost. So he sat up his stuff, sat down, lit a candle, and before it gets romantic and he starts touching himself, here comes the action. Something in the closet right in front of him is shaking. And while Timo was stepping closer to see what was causing the noise, the wardrobe closet behind him started making some weird noises too. The scariest thing was how clean it was. My closet looks way more rusty. After Timo checked to see if the noise was coming from the doors, it started to get more aggressive, but the problem was that I had already had enough during the build-up and my hand was hurting me, so I was turned off. And in the investigation video, things also got more aggressive, with glass being thrown, chairs flipping, and the only door other than the exit door got stupid, which means it was closing and opening repeatedly. Heck, even the camera stand was scared to a point where it started running. I know the last one is some Disney shit, but it was actually present in the video.
Что это такое? Тихо, 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 тихо. Не получается открыть его. Блин, чем его открыть? Это мышь, что ли? Мы теперь без нее никуда не будем ходить, раз получается так. Тихо, 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 тихо. Черт. Ну-ка, 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 стоп, фонарик. Что-то странно себя все ведет оборудование. Но это очень странно, потому что никаких ответов мы не получили. Еще одно. Тихонько. Тихо, 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 тихо. Посмотрите. Твою мать. Твою мать! И мне становится еще более интереснее здесь находиться. Но я очень надеюсь, что мне хотя бы еще... Очень надеюсь, что камер хватит мне еще хотя бы на час. Опять. Камера в хлам. Камера в хлам, а у нас все продолжается твориться так. Хватаем эту камеру. Эту камеру срочно. Тихо. Грома. Беру с собой. Погодите. Сейчас. Я ее на грудь прицеплю. Куда ее зацепить? Сюда зацеплю.
I don't know what that voice coming from the talkie-walkie was, but it's either the ghost, or some girl was investigating a different area and she had enough. It was like a pregnant woman struggling with her baby, who was shadow boxing inside her stomach. I'm all into talented people and people who learn how to become talented. As if there were any difference between these two. Actually, there is, because some people could be born with natural talents while others develop them. So where's this going? This video seems to be getting more motivating. But it's not, because here is some random fella who is about to show the entire world how talented he is while living in the small apartment. He wants to be discovered and get the money and appreciation he seeks. But his dream lived too short after he was discovered. So did some agency find him and do a contract with him, which ended up ruining his career. Kinda, because the ones who discovered him are the jinn.
Bueno, vamos a hacer un tema de Pink Floyd. ¿Ok? A ver cómo sale. Y dice 1, 2, 3, va.
I like these random videos where the guy is about to do something and ends up doing something else, which isn't the type of video this is, because the guy did what he intended to do, but something out of his control happened. I think you all know about the Red Hood girl story. You must have at least heard her name. Even cavemen were sculpting the story on the rocks for their kids. Unless you were outside Earth for the last 70 years, you should know about it. So, aren't we supposed to be talking about a scary video? And you will be correct. You get $500. Now let's move on to the next question, worth $1,000. Who said that the Red Hood story wasn't horror related? A girl goes to visit her grandma deep in the woods, And while she was on her trip, a wolf tricked her into taking the longer way to her destiny so he can eat her grandma, then eat her. To me, that's dark. But there are theories that says something about this Red Hood girl to be the real villain. Theories which I come up with off of the depth of my anus. Have you asked the question, what does this Red Hood girl do in her free time? After all, she lives in the woods. And here is your answer to the question you never asked. In the next video, we have 2 Hispanic folks in the most common place you can find Hispanic people, a graveyard, or somewhere near that. One of them was lurking at the red-hooded girl, who was in the middle of a demonic dance as part of a ritual worshipping the devil. And if that wasn't enough for him, he brought his friend only so he could make a scene out of him. Long story short, some shit was burning in the middle of Satan's star, while that fella who was brought forcefully was preparing for the Oscars by delivering the best horror performance he could pull up.
Ahí está. Está haciendo brujería. No, pero vete para acá. Mira. A la madre. Está. ¡Oh! Ahí está. Mira. Ay, güey. Ya no sé qué está haciendo, cielo santificado. No, güey, no. Mira. Vente. Vete para acá. Hay que tener mucho cuidado a las espaldas, colombiano, porque en cualquier momento nos puede salir a la espalda, güey. Aquí estaba, güey. Mira. Aquí estaba parado, güey. A la Mauser, güey, brujería, güey. Inga tu máquina, ¿y esos chorros de qué son, güey? Inga tu, güey. Pero ahí se ven algunos chorros como no sé qué sean. ¿Te sientes bien? ¿Qué pasó? Ey, ¿te sientes bien? Colo. Ey. ¡Tu madre! Colombiano. Colo. ¡Ay! ¡Ay! Aquí está. Aquí está, güey. Colo, ¿estás bien? Sí, güey, sí. ¿Qué tiraste, güey? No digas, güey. Tú. Está rindiendo. En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. No me siento bien. ¡Ay, qué feo huele! ¡Ay, Diosito de mi vida, qué feo huele! ¿Qué tienes?
Hey, ¿te sientes bien? Colo. ¡Oh, no mames! ¡Colombiano! ¿Qué tienes, güey? ¿Qué tienes? ¿Qué tienes? ¡Ey, qué tienes, güey! ¡Ey! ¿Qué tienes, colombiano? ¡No mames, güey! ¿Qué tienes? ¡Ey, güey! ¡Arriba, arriba, arriba! ¿Qué tienes? ¡Ey! 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 ¡No más esto, güey! ¡Arriba, despierta, colombiano! ¡Despierta! ¡Despierta! ¡Hola, no mames, güey! ¡Ey! ¡Ayuda! ¡Ey! ¿Qué tienes, güey? Vámonos, güey, vámonos, levántate, por favor. ¿Qué tienes? ¿Qué tienes? ¿Qué tienes? No me hagas esto, güey, no manches, Colo, no, güey.
For some reason, when they got close to that burning thing, whatever it was, I felt like I could already smell it. I don't know why, but it smells like these old toilets in schools. I'm telling you, I have a lot of experience in that space. Or maybe there was something happening inside my boxers at that point, but it was so seamless I couldn't feel it. But what I can feel for sure is your ignorance towards the subscribe button, and the next video on your screen is one you should watch.